Well, this is a fun one. You know how the federal government and state governments are supposed to have divided authorities that no single group controls everything? Well, the federal government is challenging some of California's authority over its own coastline. Okay, let me explain. Whenever the federal government wants to build or approve a major project on the California coast, it has to comply with the California Coastal Management Project, which basically works like this. Federal agency proposes project, California reviews project, California decides whether the project is consistent with the state's coastal management plan. This program is one of California's strongest legal tools in protecting its coastline and ensuring that federal projects align with state priorities. Now, this program gets a thorough review by a federal agency every 5 to 10 years. And for the past 50 years, it's remained a federally approved program. But now Trump has decided that it gets in the way of his economic development. Recently, the Trump administration has pushed proposals to expand offshore drilling, seabed mining, undersea cables, commercial space infrastructure, etc. And so California said, hey, so we're going to use this federally approved process and tell you that these projects don't align with our priorities because they could threaten coastal ecosystems that support an economy worth over $44 billion a year and around 500,000 jobs. And the people who profit from these projects aren't necessarily the same people whose livelihoods depend on a healthy coastline. So now the federal government is saying, there must be something wrong with this program. So then they ordered an additional review, one focusing specifically on how California manages its coastal economy. Now if you're thinking, Josh, maybe this is just one of those regular reviews they do every 5 to 10 years. Right, so they just did one of those 2 years ago and everything was fine. And so the timing of this one just feels a little coincidental. And here's the main problem with this review. If the federal government determines that California's program no longer meets federal requirements, they can attempt to limit or remove California's authority over its own coastline, which would give the federal government much more control, with even less checks and balances. This could potentially strip state oversight, put hundreds of thousands of coastal jobs and industries at risk, and threaten the ecosystems that literally keep us alive. And if they set this precedent in California, who's to say they won't use a similar process in any other coastal state? So there's a link in my bio to submit public comments opposing this review, which you can do through August 22nd. And I strongly urge you to make your voices heard.